Hello, Mickey Duncan.
Hi, Kathy.
We are live on Facebook and a couple other places. So I'm excited to have you on today.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you for
Uh,
inviting me.
yes. Well, we're going to share some great stuff for people and for the agents that are out there
Nice.
joining us. So we've got Rockstar Agent, as I've got there, Mickey Duncan. She has been you're the top 5% of Middle Tennessee. You've been featured on magazine covers. You are have been voted the nicest realtor in Nashville, and on and on and on. So anyway, I'm excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Awesome. So why don't we start way back from the beginning? Why don't you just give us an overview, a high level overview of your real estate journey so far? Like what got you into real estate, and how long you've been in, and tell us just an overview of that.
Great. So when I started, I was actually doing some paperwork for a construction company, sort of doing profit and loss and all that. And I was noticing all these commission checks that was going out to realtors. And I was like, man, what is that all about? So, just to be honest, that's sort of what lit my fire. And so I just looked into getting my license and just sort of selling real estate for a builder. And I did that part time for about 6.5 years. And then finally, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have found my passion. I had been in the medical industry for 20 something years and I loved it. It was my life. And so I was like, I am jumping in this just, 100%. I started doing real estate full time. And so I've been around the industry for about 20 years, but I've been licensed a little over 17.
Okay.
But I was just really inspired, to be honest, by the income. And then, once I put that out there because a lot of people, I think, sort of feel the same way. But then whenever they get in it, they're like, oh, this is sort of not what I thought it was going to be. So luckily it was for me. And I just really made a career out of it. And now just eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. I love it.
Yes, and you're so good. It's funny that you're talking about, when you were doing the profit and loss and doing the numbers and you saw the commission check. I mean, that's what our clients see. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, realtors make so much money. And, I always thank HGTV for it's
Yeah.
like, the public thinks we make all this money. We show 3 houses, we drive fancy cars, and that's it. Right.
Right.
But it's funny you said that. So the reality of it, you get in now, right? So you get into real estate and you realize, oh my gosh, like we're running a business here,
Right.
and there's a lot of money and a lot of expenses that get
Right.
that get to
Comes
get
along with it.
spent out of that commission check. So
Absolutely.
the numbers on paper look really great, and then you get into realizing, oh, it's a business, and we spend money in our businesses, and anyway.
Right.
So sometimes the perception and the reality are many times not the same. But when you sell a lot, like you sell a lot, so when you sell a lot of real estate, the income can be great.
Yeah.
And in sales in general, like that's the beautiful thing too, right? It can be unlimited. It's all up to your
Right.
effort. What are you willing to do?
Right.
You're one of them that has taken a bull by the horns, and like you said, you eat, sleep, and breathe it, love it, and you've been successful because you're willing to work hard.
Yeah.
And been rewarded in doing that. So you've been in a long time. So if you could go back as a new agent, knowing what you know now,
Mm-hmm.
like what's the one thing that you would tell yourself, right, that maybe you didn't know coming in? What would you tell yourself today if you were a brand new agent knowing what you do?
Yeah. I knew nothing. I knew nothing coming in. I did my training online because I was working and I would just do it in the afternoons, weekends. I knew nothing coming in. So I sort of had to teach myself. Not sure how I didn't end up in real estate jail.
I think every realtor has had that,
Yeah.
thought a few times.
Mine was a lot of trial and error. So probably what I would do different now that I, sort of know and I'm experienced, then I knew nothing. I would say, network, be around people that's in your same profession, that outthinks you, that's smarter than you, more experienced than you, and learn from those people. I think a lot of new agents need a mentor. I wish I'd have had a mentor in real estate when I started. And also developing strategic partnerships with people, in the industry, because we need that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, I'm going to get in and I'm just going to sell these houses and I don't need this person, that person. But really, it's hard doing it when you don't sort of know what's going on and you're just out there winging it. So I would say network and really try to develop strategic partnerstions.
Yeah.
That
And
would
I would,
definitely be
and
that
I
big.
agree on the mentorship. When we get in, as realtors, we're dealing with people's biggest asset.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, our entry to our business is quite low, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take a whole lot of schooling and hours to become a realtor. And
Right.
yet we're charged with dealing with people's biggest asset, most people's
Yeah.
biggest asset.
Yeah.
And as you said, I think having a mentor is key.
Yeah.
And can help in so many ways. Number one, just help get your business going. But
Right.
number two, so you don't, as you said, end up in real estate jail or
Yeah.
make mistakes that you don't even know you're making because you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I think when you said too, about people just wanting to jump in, to real estate because they think we make a lot of money or whatever. I had a past client of mine that he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I think I want to get my real estate license." And I was like, "Really? So why do you want to do real estate?" And he was like, "Oh, you just made it so fun. You made it so fun while we were out looking at houses." And I was like, "Well, I'm really glad I made it fun because I want it to be fun as well. But we need to sit down and evaluate this, because you can't just get into real estate because you think it's fun showing houses."
That's right.
He did go on to get his license, but it was a struggle out of the gate because the intention was, it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly like, oh, well, let me show you and tell you what your future is going to look like.
Yeah.
So needless to say, he's not a realtor anymore because, he just had the wrong intentions
Yeah.
of getting into this business.
Well, and that's the key word, business. People don't realize it's a business you're getting
Yeah.
into. They just, like you said, they just see the commission check and they think,
Yeah.
first of all, they get to keep all that, which that is
Yeah.
not, which is not reality. But, then
We
they,
wish.
I love looking at houses. I love this, and that's a in the big picture, a very small piece of what
Yeah.
we do on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of people, and I think that's why our industry has such a turnover. I mean, I think the NAR, the National Association of Realtors statistic, is 80 or 85. It's high.
Yeah.
Percent of the agents that get their license, they're out of the business within
Right.
2 years
Right.
because they don't really realize that they're stepping into.
Right. Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's what happens when you're live.
Sorry, I knew that would happen. Blake is not home, and I knew that would happen as soon as he opened the door. So let me go close the door.
Okay. All right. So we're live, and this is what happens sometimes when you're live.
I am so sorry. I tried to take care of that before, but
that's okay.
It is what it is.
We're gonna keep rolling. We're gonna keep rolling.
Yeah,
everyone knows we're
so
truly
sorry.
live here. This is not a recorded, posted as live. So
hang on. I gotta shut the door.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Sorry, guys.
That's good. I love it. That's great. So you're a solo agent. You've operated mainly as a solo agent. You have kind of built what I call a modern team around you, but with your own personal real estate, you're a solo agent. So what would you say is one of the most difficult things in being a solo agent?
Well, we have to hold ourselves accountable. It's like it's like who mentors the mentor
Yeah.
type thing. So I don't want to say that it's difficult because I think we have to come up with our own system.
Yeah.
Because it's easy if you're, not going into an office every day, or you don't have a broker breathing down your neck, making sure that you're out there, pounding the pavement, producing. We have to do that for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I just have to make sure that, in my office is out of my house. I've got 2 dogs that obviously, that, I can really spend a lot of time and energy on. So I just have to make sure I stay focused. So that might be the most difficult thing, is making sure that I'm in my office, I'm working, I'm not out doing other things, because I don't have anyone holding me accountable. I don't have anyone checking on my numbers and how many calls did you make and all that. So I have to be very disciplined, and I have to be very structured and hold myself accountable. And that can be a challenge.
Yeah, that's solo agent or not. If you've got a team you're responsible for, then that's a different level. But
Right.
And that may play into the next question I was really going to ask you is, you mentor a lot of new agents particularly, but you mentor experienced agents and, collaborate a lot with experienced agents. And, here at EXP, that's one thing I love so much about EXP is we collaborate together with agents, that are doing business less than us and way more than us. And so we get, to do that collaborations on a regular basis, but you specifically mentor a lot of new agents. And so what is the one thing that you tell them that's the most important thing for them as they're getting their, business? We kind of talked a little bit about that, but, what's the one thing you tell them, like, hey, getting your business kicked off, like, you've got to do this. You talked about focus, like that's always, no one's here kicking you, like the job that we have, like we have accountability to a clock and a boss and everything, in real estate, you're your own boss. So I think having focus and discipline. Is there anything else?
Yeah. So with all the new agents that I mentor, I tell every single one of them that they have to do something real estate related every single day. So whether that is during their social media, or if they're working on their database, or if they are just reaching out to someone, sending them a love letter, making a phone call, text, prospecting, whatever it is. But they just have to stay close to the campfire. They have to do something real estate related every single day. And I tell them, if you treat this like a hobby, as we've all heard 100 times, if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby.
That's right.
So that it's a hobby. So when I sit down with them, I ask them, okay, what's your goal? You want to sell 1 house a month, 5 a month? You want to make 100,000 a year, 2,000 a year? So whatever it is, then we've got to come up with a plan. But they have to do something real estate related every day. And they have to let everybody know they're a realtor. They can't be the secret agent. I tell them to wear their name tag everywhere they go. I had 21 agents I was mentoring at one time, and I would just have these big meetings that all come to the same place. And it was a game. It was like they knew they better walk in that room with their name tag on, because if they didn't, I'd call them out. I'd say, hey, where's your name tag? Nobody's going to know you're a realtor. And I'd give them prizes. I'm like, if you showed up with your name tag on today, this is for you. This is for you. So you can't be a secret agent. You got to let everybody know that you're a realtor.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And I think now, and this isn't necessarily for, I know you're huge on social media, but I think, and you've built, a lot. That's one way you keep your name and your face out there, because you're out there doing real estate stuff every day, putting on a social media. So I think that component's, that component, whether you're a new agent, whether you're an experienced agent, social media, I think is so critical.
Oh yeah.
Kind of showing people that, hey, I am working out here, every single day. But, so I know you started your career and you were at Exit for many, many years, right? So how long were you there?
Little over 10 years.
And that was the Exit Realty, and that was the only company that you had been with, yes?
Yeah.
And then you just celebrated your 5th year with EXP.
Yeah.
So tell me, how making that move 5 years ago, you'd already been experienced realtor, you've been at Exit for your first 10 years in real estate, only company you'd ever been with. And so since partnering with EXP, your business has just really exploded in a big, big way.
Yeah.
So tell me kind of how that partnership has helped you, with your business and increasing your business.
It was a huge decision for me to make. As you sort of know some of the story. When y'all came to me, I was a flat out no, because I was comfortable where I was. Exit is a fabulous company. They got a great business model. It's all I knew. I was close to my brokers. So leaving there was just, to me, I didn't think was an option. I was comfortable. I wasn't producing a whole lot of real estate because, again, I wasn't holding myself accountable. I didn't have anybody holding me accountable. So when I made that move 5 years ago, it's like my business exploded. It's like I had this whole new spark, and I really learned things that I didn't know before, and just really started developing those strategic partnerships. I didn't have that before, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know a lot about real estate. I'll just be honest with you. It was just like, oh, well, if a client came to me, they just came to me, and I sold a house and I got paid, and I hoped and prayed I got another one.
Yeah.
It's just the way it was, because even though I had been doing real estate for 10 years, I don't really feel like I was an experienced agent. I just had my license for 10 years. So when EXP came into my life, it was, as we say, it just made real estate fun. And
making real estate fun again. Yeah.
So I was, around like-minded people, people that was outthinking me, that was smarter than me, making a whole lot more money than I was. So just being around that and listening to people, and, I did get my own coach. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was almost like starting a whole new career.
Yeah.
I put my time and energy in it. I made, my own home office, and I started treating my real estate career like a business. Before it was more or less a hobby.
Yeah.
I got paid when I got paid.
Yeah.
So it really just put a whole new spin on real estate for me.
Yeah, that's so good. And you sold a lot. I mean, I know you weren't selling near at the level that you're selling now, but what I'm hearing you say is again, the collaboration, because you are around people that, it's very open, very sharing. Like, we're collaborating together. We're helping agents just become better agents, all of us, and now you're pouring into a lot of agents that are new, experienced, all of that. You become such an integral part of the collaboration, the mentorship, the trainings, all of that we have. And that, for me, same thing, I feel like is one of the biggest things that, that I've seen. I was in real estate a long time as well. And so I personally have loved watching your growth and
thank you,
seeing how you just done just so amazing. And, within the EXP platform, we have something called Icon Agent. So those are agents that are, really selling at a high volume, maybe 30 houses a year or so, or more. Like, that's sort of where the icon limit comes in play, right? So even still have sold more than that in a year, but you've been an Icon Agent with EXP for several years, which allows you the opportunity, because you're an Icon agent, to really earn back all what you have paid into EXP in stock, right? And so that's been amazing. So tell me, I know this, but tell the people listening. So you've earned a lot of shares of stock with EXP, over your 5 years, because doing what you already do, sell
Yeah.
houses, right?
Right.
You're selling houses, in different ways. You're getting paid stock. And then when you icon, you get paid a lot more
Yeah.
stock to go back in volume. I mean, based
Yeah.
on, what you paid in. So tell me, what has happened for you as a result of earning some of these shares of stock? And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you joined, I think you were like me. When I saw the stock, I'm like, that would be, and none of us have a crystal ball, so we don't know about that. But I thought, man, that'll just be a cherry on top. If I earn any stock back, great, right?
Right.
So were you that way too? Like initially, were you like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice option?
Yeah. I never really even paid attention to stocks. It's like I never paid attention to it. Blake does. He's sort of our, financial guy. He really explained to me how the whole stock option worked, and I just didn't pay attention to it. So I knew they were taking money out of my commission checks. I didn't miss the money. Um,
Now, I
so
want to clarify though. That's because you opt. That's a separate piece of it where you opt. You can opt into that piece of
that's
it,
right.
and
Yeah, it is an option, and I did opt
you
in.
get it at a 10% discount, which is even more beautiful. But
Right.
I'm talking about even the pieces that you earned, because you earned a lot. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with buying extra at the discount.
Yeah. So are you saying when I found out what I had,
Yeah.
or how that
Like when
happened?
you looked at your account, like your portfolio
Yeah.
one day, and you're like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
what
So
did you
even
go
though
do with that?
even though they were taking the money out, I wasn't really like paying attention to. I mean, I knew they were taking it out. I'm old school. I write everything down in my day timer. So, I would write down like how much they were taking out. Um, and then I log into, our account through EXP, and I'm like, that cannot be right. I'm like, there is no way there can be that much money in that account. But so I picked up the phone and I called them, and I'm like, it says this amount, or are you sure that's right? And they're like, yes, that's yours. I'm like, so you mean that's my money? That's all my money. So if I was to hit transact and I push that little button, that money's going to roll over into my bank account. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And that's what happened. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to use that money because I wanted this, that, and the other, and I did. So I got really excited, and I hit transact, and I took some money out of it, and I paid cash for my Jag.
Nice.
Blake and I have a tiny home in West Tennessee. We bought it as a shell, and we turned that little shell into a tiny home, and now it's like our resort. Took a chunk of change and bought, paid down on our beach house that we have in Panama City Beach. So we paid Blake's Jeep off. I mean, it was amazing. It was, even though, like I said, I knew they were taking the money out, that, I mean, the stocks were exploding at that time. And I am not kidding. When I pulled that up and I seen how much money was in there, I was in disbelief.
Well, and I just venture to say, because you're an icon agent and you do the volume, and because you earned so much stock, it's one piece of it. In addition, you were buying it at a discount because you had opted into that piece of the program that we have option to do, if we choose to do that component of it. But even had you not done that, in addition, you would have still opened that account and saw a lot of value, a lot of dollars in there, just simply because of, doing what you do, sell homes and earn, you get paid your commissions, but then you also, in addition, you're earning all these stock awards because, you're a great agent. And so I think you would have.
And it's also, we look at it as our retirement fund.
Yes.
Because as most people know, I mean, as a realtor, we have to have our own health insurance, and we have to have, our own retirement. I didn't have any of that with my, previous company. So when we started looking at the stock, we're like, oh my gosh, that can be our retirement fund, because it just sits there. Even though I got excited about it in the beginning, because there was goals that we had that were like, oh my gosh, we can use this now and achieve those goals. But now we just let that stock sit in there, and that'll hopefully things will get back to normal, and we'll have a good chunk of change for retirement.
Yeah. Which is
Huge.
yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, which is so huge, so huge.
Right.
And then you build, I kind of mentioned the modern team, as I would call the modern team within EXP. And, you've got several agents. What do you have, 30 agents or so on in your organization, part of your modern team, that you can help facilitate with them, but you're not responsible for giving them leads and training and all that, yet you've got another stream of income coming in with that as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Which is also beautiful.
Yeah.
helping, in retirement and building. And for those have read, Kiyosaki's book, he always talks about business owners or people that are leveraged, right? That have systems in place. And, if you can't walk away from your business and not make money, then you really just own a job. You're really self-employed and own a job, which is most real estate agents. But, with the EXP model, it allows us to really, truly build that business model,
right,
and build a modern team structure versus, what we've all learned in our past. So as we kind of are wrapping up, Mickey, so is there any final thought that you would just share with people that, either they're brand new in real estate and they're like, looking for, how do I really get going? Or maybe they're experienced agents that are tuning in and, what's Mickey's words of wisdom?
What would Mickey do?
Yeah, what would Mickey do?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would just probably say take a step back and really think about why you're doing this. I am all about building relationships.
Yes.
Okay. It's just, I'm 99% referral based, and that's because I'm a relationship builder. I've had deals with other realtors. I haven't even heard their voice through the whole entire transaction. I just don't work that way. So I think if I really give all I've got to my clients, when they hear somebody's looking for a realtor, I had it this morning. When they hear somebody's looking for a realtor, they're like, you have got to call Mickey. You've got to call my realtor. I love that. I love them to say my realtor, because then I knew that I've done something right. Okay. By building those relationships, that I'm going to be their forever realtor. I'm going to be their family and their friends realtor. I'll even be their enemies realtor. But I want them to think, when they think real estate, I want them to think Mickey Duncan. So whether you're a new agent or you're an experienced agent, I just really think that it has to come from the heart. And really put your heart and soul into every single transaction that you do. I also think it's very important to have, a good relationship with the realtor that's on the other side. Because that just is a win-win for everybody. And I get that a lot from other realtors that will say, oh my gosh, thank you for being so communicative and helping me through this. I've even done stuff for the other realtor. So just do real estate from the heart. Don't get in it for the paycheck, and just bam, 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 transaction after another. I mean, I hope that people are successful and they're getting paid. But just do it from the heart. I mean, that's the win-win for everybody.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love it. And it does have to come from the heart, because it's a tough business, for sure. And if you're just doing it for money only, to me, in the big picture, you're only going to have so much success. It's only so much success, because it is a relationship business. In every form and facet, you know, with our clients, with our business partners and our strategic partners, as you mentioned, with our other fellow realtors. I mean, we are in the middle of a lot of different balls and a lot of different things we're juggling every single transaction, and, you know, having those relationships and coming from the heart. And, you know, and you're so good at that, which is why you were voted, you know, the nicest person in real estate, right, in Nashville, because
you're a hard reputation to live up to.
You've got yeah. Now you've earned that. You can't ever go backwards. So you've got to keep that reputation for sure. So, Nikki, I appreciate you being on here today. I am I just love being in partnership with you and relationship with you. And, you know, I'm always looking to surround myself with people, you know, that are better than me. And, you know, you've got so much strength and qualities and just things that you just pour into people. And, you know, you're just somebody that I love just being in partnership with. And so I am grateful for you, grateful to have you on today. And I know people got some good tips from you today. And let me see if anybody, well, a couple of people, somebody said, I don't know where it was because I didn't have the comments on. I should have put that on. Yeah, somebody's saying it's great advice and love it. So, so I know there was some great value. So thank you again for being on today.
Absolutely. I was honored. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.